Kenneth Jonas, head coach of the Danish team. First of all, what kind of a feeling do you have at the moment just losing the semi-finals at the Thomas Cup?
Well, I think right now I'm obviously disappointed. I think that's the main feeling going through my body now. You have to be. We set a target here. We believed that we would be able to reach the final, but when we saw the draw, we also knew that coming up against Indonesia, it would be a very tough matchup for us, and I have to take my hat off for the Indonesians, how they performed today here in Denmark with a full capacity crowd, trying to cheer on the Danish players. It's a good win for them. It shows how their depth in the squad and how they're able to cope with the pressure.
Your team, Kenneth, of course, when we look at world ranking and list and everything, on paper a very strong team, but when we start to look down maybe at the second men's double, you had to try something out, you have to shuffle a bit. Is that the weak point that actually says, okay, we're not going into this medal race for silver and gold?
I think it's a question of more than just the lineup, but it's also the matchup and the playing styles between the opponents that we're facing. Obviously, when you play a Thomas Cup, it's about how big a depth you have in your team. It's not just to have one in each discipline. You need to have more. And Indonesia is overall very strong, and in their double departments they are second to none. And I think they have a former Olympic champion, world champion on the bench as well. That just shows their strength. So we lost to a better opponent today. We had to shuffle a little bit. We went with the pair that's performed really well throughout the week. But today against Adianto and Alfian, they were up against a better pair.
Kenneth, looking at the bigger picture for Thomas Cup 2020, what is your overall evaluation of the tournament for your team?
Well, taking aside today's defeat, I'm still immensely proud of the guys. The way they performed with the pressure of leading your team on home soil. As I started out talking to them, that we had to learn to play at this big arena, this big event, with all the expectations, with all the fans coming and watching, spectators and so on. And I think we dealt with it really well. Today we just lost. We didn't underperform. We played up to our absolutely maximum. We just met a better team. So I'm tremendously proud of how we fared throughout the week. But I'm still disappointed because I think the ambition was a little bit more.
So a bronze medal is okay?
At the end of the day, it has to be okay. But we'll never settle for bronze. We will always be hungry for more and believe in our chances to do better in next time around.
The Europa Cup team reached the quarterfinals, better opponent. I think that's fair to say. Yeah. The overall impression of the women's team?
A little bit similar to the guys, I'd say. I think we performed really well. We played some good matches throughout. They had some good performances. Still a very young team which needs to learn. I still believe that the potential of this team is quite good. So overall, obviously a little bit disappointed in how it ended against Korea. I think we thought that we might be a little bit closer, but Korea played outstanding in that match, and we never really put too much pressure on them. So I'm fairly pleased with the girls. I think they performed almost at the highest level, and again, I see bright things in the future for them.
So Kenneth, ranking from 10 being the best and 1 being the lowest, where do you put the Danish event, for so to speak, for Thomas Europa Cup?
Well, I think on a performance throughout, I think I'm going to give it an 8. But from being back with fans, with spectators, I'm going to give it a 10. It's the most amazing feeling as a coach to sit there and watch your players perform at home. I think there's not one of the players that hasn't dreamt of this moment. So I'm very pleased that they got this experience. But obviously, right next to that, I'm disappointed. There was nothing we wanted more than to give the Danish crowd, the Danish fans, a final.